created 8,000 new jobs, 95 plus properties, 15 million square feet, 1,300 paid summer interns, 160 new tenants that weren't in the city of Detroit that are now here because of you. Dan, why are you in Detroit? Why are you doing this?
Because I can get a great watch from Shinola, see? That's the main reason. Well, you know, there's really two reasons when I get that question that I answer with two reasons. I mean, number one is, look, I was born in Detroit, my father was born in Detroit, grandfather was born in Detroit. It's like generations, and you know, it's our hometown, and if there's any way we could make an impact being in the situation we were in several years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, we wanted to do it. But it also has to be because it's good for your business, because if it's not, then nothing's sustainable, right? And so for us, you know, we always wanted to hire the best and brightest out of the universities, and I think it was apparent here in Detroit as well as other cities in the country and even the world that, you know, the world was moving, the young people moving to urban cores, that's where they want to be. And it's not like we were going to move to some other city like Cleveland or something like that. And so we said, let's give it our best shot, and we came down. That's as simple as that.
Simple as that. Raise your hand in the room if you're wearing a Shinola. Look at that. How great is that? Tom, does that make you feel good?
We got some work to do.
We call that opportunity, right? You know, Tom, you're currently sitting in a, I wouldn't say a rundown building, but maybe a building that needs a little help still. You're from Texas, and you had this crazy idea to come to Detroit and make some stuff. Give us a little bit of background on how that came together.
So when I was in my early 20s, I started a company called Fossil and took it public in '93 and ran it for another 16 years and got a little tired of running a public company. It took a while for me to get out. So when I left, I really hadn't thought about what was next. And I sat with my wife, who's right over there. She was the first employee of Fossil, actually.
The first employee?
She was the first employee. And I was like,
cool.
You really want to leave all this money to these kids? She's like, not really.
Are your kids here tonight?
No, they're not here.
They're at the bar.
They know this story.
Yeah.
And wanted to do something that was creative and something that maybe hadn't really been thought through well as it should have been, and not really worry about that. And so we started investing in companies that were creating jobs in the United States. And we had the idea to build a watch factory somewhere. And there's a guy in Switzerland that I'd known who would never do it when it was something that we were trying to do for a profit-motivated reason. And when it was for something to create jobs, he agreed to come and do it. And we came and we did it for sport, and it seems to be working out.
In your wildest imaginations, when you had this idea, what do you think Shinola could be?
Well, for me, it was just an opportunity to involve myself in multiple different product categories and doing business with a bunch of different people that are best in class, and try to create something that had a singular brand message and that people would enjoy, and maybe at the same time do good.
Yeah, you know, this is the Motor City. We love building stuff. We love mechanisms. It took us all a little while to get used to your factory. You know, a lot of tiny little parts. Am I having an issue? All right. You didn't? All right. A lot of tiny little parts. It's one of the coolest places, and if I'm not mistaken, you have 400 people now based in the city of Detroit?
Yeah, I think there's 530 in the company and 350 to 400. I'm not sure the exact number, but it's not. Thank you. It's 350 to 400 people. It's not really going to move the needle, but maybe it can motivate some people.
It's a fantastic story. Exactly. My favorite thing that you guys talk about is how Shinola is actually a job creation vehicle. Again, nearly 400 people employed in the city of Detroit with a manufacturing base that we just didn't have before. Currently 16 stores in the US, 18 stores worldwide. You know, really investing in Detroit and investing in what we all love, which is that skill, you know, a trade.
Yeah.
So here we all are. Dan's downtown doing his thing. You're downtown doing your thing. And you guys didn't have enough to do? Is this what happened? Where'd you guys meet?
Where did we meet? I know you just showed up
In
one
your
day in the office.
Several people told us we should meet, and I think it was
Said
in
there's
your
some
office.
gray-haired, long-haired, gray-haired dude. He's kind of cool in the
Wait a
lobby.
second.
Wants to meet
If I
you.
see one gray hair, I'm coloring.
He said he's coming from Texas, and will you guys go meet? So we met. But I think everybody can feel Tom as soon as he gets in. He's authentic, great guy, and had a vision, and so we've been talking, and one interesting thing. Tom owns the Bedrock.com URL, and like 7 years before, we were trying to buy it, and he told us to take a hike, and then we realized it was you.
There's got to be a story there. I mean, Bedrock Manufacturing, Bedrock Real Estate. You guys never knew each other before? I mean, that's... All your buddies from Texas come up and they're like, oh my God, you own 95 buildings now? Yeah.
We tried to get it, though. No good.
You couldn't get the website. What did he want for it?
A lot.
A lot, I'm sure. So you guys have a meeting, and you like the Shinola watches. You like their business. You invest in the company.
Yeah, I mean, this was Tom's vision, for the Shinola Hotel, and we were honored to
Oh,
be
but
able.
first, didn't you invest in the watch company?
Oh yeah, the watch. We invested in that. How's that going? Good. Going good. No. No.
And I'll lead us in the conversation.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
So
don't know where I was even.
you guys meet. You invest in his company. You're helping out. You love the vision. You're creating more jobs, right? Everything's going good. He's doing right by your money. And then sometime you got together again. And what happened?
So Tom had a vision for this hotel. We had talked about it, I guess, on and off for a couple of years, and he really wanted to launch this hotel. He said the best place to do it would be in Detroit, where the company is. And to me, it was sort of a no-brainer. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world that have a lot of great ideas, but not a lot of them can have ideas and execute, can kind of do both. And I think Tom has a career of execution and vision, and so our guy Dan Mullen out there, put the whole deal together, and so
That Dan Mullen?
that guy with the beard, see him?
Here guy with a fancy new haircut?
Yep. Got that short hair going on the side thing. And so we decided to make a deal.
All right, it's way too simple. I mean,
Simple.
who said I want to get in the hotel business? Who said, let's...
We had an idea to build a hotel. So we had an idea to build a hotel for a while, and I talked to, I think, everybody in the hotel business, and we stumbled into a couple of people that helped design our stores, Gasho, John and Christine, and the stores that they're developing for us are incredible, and they had a real vision for what we're doing, so we were able to partner with them, because we don't know shit from Shinola about making a hotel. And then, a big part of the hotel business is the amenities around it, the hotel, the restaurants, the bars, and there's a company called NoHo Hospitality with Josh Picard and Andrew Carmelini, who, just incredible operators and great vision for things, and I believe that we found best-in-class people, and all the product categories that we come into, we're coming out with some audio equipment. It's going to be turntables and headphones, and in that instance, we're able to attract world-class scientists and people that have been in that business, and so we're just honored to every category that we're getting into, we're finding best-in-class to help us do it. Otherwise, we'll mess it up.
So they just showed us the hotel. I think just about everyone's seen it in just about every newspaper in town. There's only one newspaper in town, you're right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. We've got 200 folks from outside of Detroit that are here. You're from Texas. What can you say about the community in Detroit and investing in the city, and any words you might have for these folks?
Well, we came here with the idea to build a watch factory, and we went to the College of Creative Studies to get a tour of that place, and just under the premise that we'd sponsor a design class, and the elevator opened on the 5th floor, and it was the perfect place to put a watch factory, and I think they were going to put dorms or something there, so I went to Rick Rogers, who runs the school, and I said, we want to put a watch factory in your school, and he's like, excuse me? And they let us do it, and they've been incredible partners. We've done a bunch of things together, and what we see in this town is just everybody trying to help each other, dig each other out of the shit. And it's a really incredible experience to be a part of it, and we're having a blast.
It's awesome. Dan, the real estate's almost all gone.
Where did it go? What do you mean? It's gone. There's a lot of real estate left.
Detroit right now is the epicenter of deals. I mean, you hear about it nonstop, technology, real estate development. Talk a little bit about, you know, what you guys are trying to attract and what these folks can take home with them, or how do they get in touch with you guys to get a deal done?
You know, I think for people who are coming back in and visiting Detroit, haven't been here in a while, really the way I look at it, there's three things you need to do business in Detroit. And, you know, one of them is talented people. There's no shortage of that, especially the people even in this room coming back to Detroit. Number two is capital, which I think capital is available for these kinds of investments all over the city now, and getting easier. I wouldn't say easy, but easier as it's been for the last 7, 8 years. Each year it gets just a little bit easier on that front. And number three is opportunity, and there's no shortage of that. I mean, you know, and if you have the time, of course, that would help too, if you put the time that you need into it. So those 3 or 4 things, and I think that, you know, Detroit, a lot of people think, man, and this is, downtown and midtown has really come a long way, and it has. And the neighborhoods have come a long way and still have a long way to go. But I don't even think we've started yet. I think the next phase here, and you can feel it with the Shinola Hotel, all the things people are doing along the river in Midtown, some of the stuff that we're planning, everything going on with the district and with the Red Wings and the Illich family's doing, it goes on and on and on. But the cranes are going to keep, coming on into the sky. I won't use that joke again, don't worry. And I think that's really when the optimism is going to go to a new level. And I think within a year, you'll be able to look out your office or your hotel room, wherever you're doing here, and you'll be able to see probably 10, 12 cranes of big projects happening. I think that's really when the city takes sort of the next big step. So, and to me, growth and new construction, new building, I mean, that's really the sign of growth.
Yeah. Tom, you came in from Texas. You found Rick. That was a great Rick Rogers, by the way. You see all this stuff that's going on. I mean, he mentioned the arena, the district. Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, what was it like coming in?
I remember the first day I'd never been to Detroit. I was in where Kmart used to be in the suburbs. I went to sell them watches when I was at Fossil, but I'd never actually been to Detroit. And my first night here, I was staying at the Westin, and it was 2011, January of 11, and I looked out the window, and I didn't see a car, and I didn't see a person. And I was wondering, what am I doing here? And now with all the construction and the traffic, I mean, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
So what's next? Your hotel's not even up yet.
We're thinking about a lot of things. I think maybe someday you'll be able to buy Shinola Cola at a local grocery store. We're trying to think of just multiple ways that we can create products that are training people to make them. I mean, that's a big part of what we're doing. When we started making watches, we had to build the factory before we knew that we could train the workforce in Detroit to make a competitive product, and that was probably the craziest thing that we did. And then that year we made 55,000 watches and we sold them all, and we were budgeting between 140 and 180,000 watches. And we went to the guy that was making straps for us in Florida and told him his order was going to be triple, and there was no way he could supply us. So we hired a company that builds watch strap and small leather good manufacturing capabilities for companies all over the world, and we hired him to build a world-class factory for us here. And I was nervous about that because when we're training people to make the watches, the parts are the same every time, so you're training a human being a repetitive task. When you're making a watch strap or a small leather good, the parts are different every time. Leather is a natural material and it's never the same, so you're training both an art and a science. And our success, and it took longer than we thought it was going to take, and it cost more money, but we are successful at training people to do this, and it's telling us that we can train for just about anything. So very soon we're going to be manufacturing headphones and turntables and speakers here, and we're expanding the leather business, and it's about training.